This is Susan Stoderl speaking, and I am the author of this short story entitled A Christmas Surprise. Today, I'll be reading part 1. I wrote this for Christmas 2022. Pedro is missing his family and the way they celebrated Christmas in Mexico. His new extended family decides to recreate a Mexican Christmas for their good friend Pedro. Sophia and Pedro sat together on the sofa in Sophia's apartment, with Zelda Screech Cat nestled between them. It was Saturday morning, December 24th, and Mr. O'D was out picking up a few forgotten items for dinner that evening. The plan was to have roasted duck served over wild rice and mushroom pilaf, garnished with a warm fruit compote. Brussels sprouts in a butter sauce with carrot, dill, and horseradish completed the main course. Sophia and Pedro were taking a break from the preparations, while Mr. O'D fetched the forgotten wild rice and horseradish. The average parent might question the household's dinner menu for 2, 10, almost 11-year-old kids, but in fact it was Sophia's and Pedro's choice. Meals, particularly those they cooked together, were part of their unique family unit. In their free time, while Pedro watched CSI and Bones reruns, Sophia was busy perusing Martha Stewart, Rachel Ray, and Jamie Oliver cook shows. Sophia figured that if Super Sleuths Inc. went belly up, she and Pedro could get a cooking show on Nickelodeon or PBS Kids. The two cooked together a lot, and their choices often turned out to be quite cosmopolitan. Full disclosure, they also had their share of kid-friendly menus, such as grilled peanut butter, banana, and mayo sandwiches with tomato soup and chocolate ice cream sprinkled with crumbled Ruffles potato chips. Mr. O'D insisted that Sophia and Pedro add some of the brandy-soaked dried apricots to the fruit compote they were making. Teetotaling Sophia and Pedro weren't so sure, but Mr. O'D assured them all the alcohol would evaporate with the cooking. The apricots, cherries, and oranges were now simmering away with cinnamon sticks and other spices until the fruit became soft and blended. The apartment smelled delicious. Contrary to Sophia, Zelda Screech Cat had other thoughts on the subject she wisely didn't voice. Suppose the crock pot was accidentally unplugged early. The alcohol might not cook out. Then Sophia and Pedro might not be able to interfere with any of her nefarious plans. She knew this because once Mr. O'D spilled wine on the floor as he added it to the spaghetti sauce. Zelda lapped it up. It was quite tasty, but her jumping skills were a little off. She slid down the side of the sofa and fell asleep. "I'm glad Henry is joining us for dinner," said Sophia. "He loves our cooking. Too bad neither your parents nor Lionel can be here. It's totally unfair anybody has to work Christmas. Except essential workers, of course." "Lionel is an essential worker, Sophia." "Okay, smarty pants, but they're not the only ones. Sal's working with his sons in the restaurant, and Mr. Wu's kids are taking him to Vermont skiing. Can you see Mr. Wu on skis?" asked Sophia with a giggle. "With the way he skates around the wash and spin at warp speed, there's no doubt he'll get the hang of skiing in about 5 minutes. How did his kids talk him into that?" "They didn't. They're woo-napping him by slipping a Mickey in his lunch tea, then whisking him off in their SUV. Presto changeo, ski Vermont in progress." "I can't see that," said Pedro. "Me neither, but his daughter Lee told me that once you get him out of the laundromat, he's a party animal. He's up for trying anything within reason. He took the whole family when they were our age because he won a free weekend in the Laundromat Owners Association lottery. Later, when they wanted to go skiing again, he was always too busy, and their mother wasn't fond of traveling unless it was to a family event. This year, they took control." Mr. O'D arrived bearing a recyclable grocery bag. There was more in the bag than the forgotten items. "Okay, lad and lassie, I come bearing the rest of the day's victuals. First, the rice and horseradish." He placed the items on the kitchen table. "Next, 1 fruitcake soaked for 6 weeks in my special apricot brandy for Henry's and my dining pleasure, and 1 for you and Pedro, minus my special additions. I'll make Nana's special hard sauce for ours, and I picked up some cream to make whipped cream for you two." "And what about an entrapped cat? Where are my Christmas cat treats? The ones with the crunchy fish outside and creamy inside?" Zelda telegraphed. As if Mr. O'D could hear her, he pulled out one last package out of his tote. "Here you go, Zelda. Blue bursts for your special treat." "No way he heard her. Must have been a lucky guess," telegraphed Sophia. You never know, said Pedro. I hope not, or we are in serious trouble. Word. Look for part 2 on December 22nd and part 3 on December 23rd. Enjoy.